We have many leather-bound books, and we're live. What's up, everybody? I am here with Lindsay, my dear friend and fellow social media aficionado. What is up, Lindsay?
What's up? So, hey, I got a question.
I
have to go over to the Facebook part and share it.
Okay.
No, just kidding. You're already live. Just kidding. Hi.
Yep, already live. So I'm so excited that we're doing this show. We're gonna call it a show because that's what popped into my head. But I'm so excited that we decided to do this because you and I have conversations every so often and catch up and talk about all the different social media updates. We're constantly learning and reading articles. If you are a social media professional, you have to stay reading. Because things change so fast. But I can only imagine how difficult it is for business owners, entrepreneurs who are running a business, focusing on their zone of genius, whatever they're amazing at, and having to keep up with all the stuff that we keep up with. I mean, we have to because it's what we do, but I can't imagine running a business that has nothing to do with social media marketing and having to stay up to date with all the stuff that we have to keep, reading about. What are your thoughts on that?
You would be like my friend Claire, who's my personal trainer. This morning she told me she took a social media hiatus for a week. And I was like, that's cool. I would never be able to do that because that's the space that I work in. So awesome. I'm excited because Veronica and I have kicked around a lot of ideas and we're like, all right, let's just do it. Like, this is going to be totally raunchy, not raunchy, like sexy raunchy, but just like raunchy. And most of our pieces we think about for 3 months and we developed, images and assets and here's the link and here's how we're going to do it. But we just decided to just, you know what, let's just come on. By the time we perfect what we want to share, what we're sharing has changed.
Yeah.
So like, we can't wait. We just got to do it. And so today we're going to talk about just like some updates for those that are watching to apply to your social media feeds. Let's start with Facebook. So, okay, Facebook, can you slow down? Like,
they have a lot going on.
Holy crap. I can tell you this, but like this morning, if you go to your Facebook profile now, you can add music on there. Like, remember MySpace?
Yes, I loved MySpace. Can we just discuss how MySpace taught us all how to code? Like, remember like your theme and inserting the code? And I mean, props to MySpace because they were way ahead of their time. But yeah, that's awesome. You can add music now. I didn't even see that yet.
Literally, and for 20 minutes, I'm like, just like I did with MySpace, what music am I going to have? And I thought like maybe I only had to pick one, but thank God I could like pick more than one. So of course I put Wu-Tang on there because like why not? And then and then the other one I can't remember, but I just picked it. So it looks like a playlist. Like you could create your own playlist, and then when people go to your Facebook profile, they would see your music. So it doesn't like automatically play like back with MySpace. It just kind of has it as like a playlist. And personal profiles, I didn't see it available on our business page. And then I would have it on what to put it on my business page because like I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, I don't think that there's just no separation between a business page, at least in my case anymore. This one specific niche that I focus on, people just started friending each other on Facebook and sort of disregarded LinkedIn, which I always enjoyed keeping separate, professional on LinkedIn, personal on Facebook. But, this group of professionals just started using Facebook professionally and started connecting with individuals on Facebook. So it sort of just like blurred the lines. And now Facebook is no longer personal, but it's okay because I never really published anything I wouldn't mind other people seeing. And if anything, I think it's a great way for people to see behind the scenes, who you really are behind the brand. So I'm fine with it, but that's good to know. See, I didn't even see that update yet, but what is going on this week right now, as we speak, is F8, Facebook's annual conference where they roll out, a bunch of news and they talk about where the company's headed. And the topic this week is going to be privacy. Privacy is still a big issue for Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg posted something last week talking about, his concerns and where he's, trying to take the platform, taking privacy into consideration. And there's a lot of messaging conversation. They want to make it more personal. And again, he's still talking about conversations, protecting people's privacy, which I don't know to what extent that's possible, but that is what they're going to be discussing this week on F8. I know TechCrunch is going to be broadcasting from there. I think on Wednesday at 2 p.m. they're going to do like a roundup and a summary about what is happening. But I'm sure anything breaking or major we're going to hear about. Another thing that happened this week is that they revealed their quarterly results. And I think the numbers came in, it's like 2.7 billion people are using Facebook around the world, not just Facebook, but also Instagram and WhatsApp, which is huge. But what I thought was really impressive was 500 million stories uploaded daily. Now, most of the stories are coming from Instagram, but again, now we have stories format on WhatsApp, and we also have it available on Facebook. So stories is such a big deal. And I know you're a huge advocate about this. I know you've even shifted your workshops to include stories and creating content for stories. So, I mean, this just proves that, businesses who are not leveraging stories are really missing out, because a lot of people are spending time not only uploading content, but also consuming that content. What do you think about that, Lindsay?
Okay, so I have three things. I think the one thing I wanted to say is that when we're talking about personal profiles, what we see is there's apprehensiveness. Like if I worked for a company, I don't want to use my personal profile to like talk about business stuff. So that's the only catch on like the whole, do I use our Facebook page or do I use my personal profile? Totally. You and I can, because we don't have a boss. We screwed up. Sorry. So I'm really sorry about that, but that's going to be always the issue is like, well, I never get on Facebook, or I only get on Facebook because I look at, what my grandkids are doing or whatever, and they're just not comfortable. So stick with the Facebook page. If that's your jam, if you're just not feeling comfortable using your personal profile, then I'm going to recommend still use your business page. It's definitely becoming a pay to play. If you haven't heard that yet, that just means that you're going to have to pay for some Facebook ads or some Facebook boosts. That's Veronica. However you're looking at this, this is Veronica's like freaking jam. And we did some A/B/C/D testing where we had a Facebook client. We had a client that was using Facebook, and they didn't have an ad budget to like boost things or to promote stuff. So we've been running their page, organically. And then we have another client that, will put $5 or $10 behind things. And so on that client that has a little bit of an ad budget, we are seeing on just organic posts so much more momentum and traction, because the algorithm is understanding this business is paying, maybe not on this post, but they have a recurring ad budget that's going on. And I don't pretend to be, a Facebook ad guru. I've got other people like Shannon Loy, that when that stuff comes in, I partner with you guys to do that. But if you aren't already, or if you're you're just kind of wondering and you care about your Facebook page, you're going to have to start putting some ad dollars. And we're not talking much. I mean, just save $100 a month and start testing it with that. Get somebody to consult with you and help you set that up, because you don't want to do it wrong. So that's kind of my thing on that. I think I just talked about 14 things when I said I was going to do Facebook. Oh, the other thing, so we talk a lot about Facebook groups. And so my thing is to talk about Facebook groups. So we have a Facebook group. You have a Facebook group. Mine is called Drop and Give Me 20. Yours is called Make It Happen. And what we saw when that whole shift of, okay, now we're going to like let people say whether they not want to be in a group. When that whole thing happened a couple weeks ago, we saw a tremendous decrease in engagement in our Facebook group. I'm still a big advocate for Facebook groups because it serves as community, but just for those that are watching that might also have a Facebook group, I'd love to hear from you. What are you seeing? Did you see any decrease in that, when all that shift happened?
It happens. I mean, we've been seeing that decrease. I mean, I've been seeing the decrease in engagement across a lot of groups. And I know for just to give you guys a little bit of history about our groups, a lot of business owners and a lot of marketers started promoting the ideas when Facebook page reach went down because of advertising, because Facebook wanted you to advertise. A lot of people started yielding towards, and running towards groups because it was a free way to still reach a lot of people. However, because there's so much competition, in the news feed, groups is still competing for reach. Those posts are still competing with reach with everything else between ads, your family's posts, everything that's just, getting published in the news feed. So now there's been more changes. One of the things that I'm really excited about with Facebook groups is the opportunity to now target, create custom audiences, targeting people who are just like the members of your group. Right. Yeah. So now you're able to use some of the data from the group that you have and leverage that in Ads Manager. So I'm really excited about that. As Lindsay mentioned, I am a Facebook ads nerd, and I continue to use the word nerd today is my thing today. So I love all that stuff. So I think that's a great update. That's my favorite update as far as groups are concerned.
Before we move over to the next social media platform, you were talking about the quarterly results that Facebook just published it. So in our workshops, we track daily active users because, your daily active users will show you how many people are using the platform on a daily basis. And every single quarter that we do this workshop, we have seen an increase in daily active users universally, meaning like all countries, but the United States and Canada has been decreasing. So don't get it twisted when you see that number being like, oh, we've had an increase. If you're a pizza shop in, Norfolk, Virginia, you don't care to reach people in outside of a 5 to 10 mile radius. So where you need to be concerned is like, are those daily active users going down in my country? And if you're in the US and Canada, yes. The last piece that we were going to talk about before we move over to Instagram is this whole concept of like, is Facebook listening when I say call to action words in my videos right now? Remember we were like, oh, is that, you can't say like sale. I can't even say it now. Like sale or comment or share or like. I just said all of them. So great. Now this whole video is, might as well just throw it out the window. What the hell?
I've stayed away from that when it comes to captions, when it comes to like, share, whatever, because that's just been, kind of like common knowledge that if you use, and for those of you that don't know this, stay away from using like, share, because, Facebook has caught on and the algorithm is really smart. The people, programming the algorithm are really smart. They don't want people out there trying to hack the algorithm. I mean, that is so like 2007. And like, people are just not, I don't even know if Facebook was around in 2007, but still like people are just not, if you have to rely on those sort of tactics to get engagement, then you need to rethink your marketing, because now, again, not only is marketing getting a little bit more sophisticated, consumers are getting more sophisticated, but also the networks are getting more sophisticated. So stay away from using those words. But the fact that we can't even say them on video now, like I don't even know what to make of that, because I think while I appreciate trying to keep some of the, spamminess out of the platform, I think, some of those words are still part of day-to-day conversations, especially for us marketers who tend to use those words in casual conversations. So I think that's interesting for sure.
I wonder if it'll catch me if I do this and like show it in the video.
Sign up for yeah, right. Like now you have to do it in a sign. Hopefully, all right. Like now, maybe what you can do is do like in the captions, or maybe add, a little banner in the bottom saying "sign up" as we're talking. I don't know. All right. Like, I'm not really sure. But now moving on to Instagram. I think Instagram has, again, it's in the family of apps, Facebook family of apps. So, it's always evolving. They're always testing. They're always changing stuff. I know now they just rolled out the feature to be able to check out on Instagram. And I think that anytime that they're trying to make what these networks want you to do is to stay on their networks. They don't want you to have to leave. And that's why, even like links on Facebook, and now this is going down a whole nother subject, but, third-party links, anytime you take, a user outside of the platform, that's just they're not going to want everybody to see those posts. But now the Instagram is offering the ability to be able to check out on Instagram. So this is great for products. If you saw a product on Instagram, like not only can you tag that product and, say how much it is and go and take somebody to your store, but now they're making it so that users can check out on the actual app, which is exciting. I haven't used it. I haven't tried the feature yet, but that is, now available. And tell me about the Samsung users thing you were talking about.
So for anybody who is in marketing and advertising, I'm sure you follow a lot of marketing and advertising things because it's our way to like stay up to date and stay on trend. I happened to be on, I think, LinkedIn or something, and I saw an advertisement for Samsung, so Android phone. And the way that it was showing, one of the features was, if I take a photo on my Samsung phone on just the regular camera application, then once I take the photo and I hit, snap, it will give me the option to post that as a story on my Instagram without having to open up the Instagram app. So it's already integrated in the camera application. The personal, I always have to use my how would people use this personally, and then how can businesses use it? So personally, I think that's great. It's one less step I have to take. I put it over in my story and then I bounce, right? I'm done with my day because I just feel like everybody needs to know my life, apparently. On the business side, if I'm thinking about it, one of the things that might, one of the things that I could see that counteracts that is now I've moved on and I'm not engaging in Instagram stories within the app as a user. So as a business, I need to worry about that because I want people to be in the app seeing my stuff, right? But if that feature automatically goes to, and sorry, Samsung, I mean, I'm not Mrs. Samsung, so I don't kill me, but you can also hire me to do product thoughts if you want. So the idea is for these businesses, they're going to be well, crap, is that going to take people away from actually being in the application? So I would say, yeah, because if that happens and it's just an automatic thing, then I'm going to put my phone down and move on with my life, right? As a personal user. And so we always have to think about how people are using the platforms personally and as an individual before we can start addressing that as a business, in marketing. So that's going to be my oh, that's a cool, the personal side of me goes, oh, cool feature. The business and the marketer goes, oh, wait. So
yeah. Yeah, no, that's super interesting that now these companies are starting to create, features that allow you to use social and just I don't know. I just love when people start adopting social in any way. So that's interesting to see how they're creating new products to coincide with what's popular or what's working on these social media networks. So another thing to bring up about LinkedIn, I was looking at the paper, Instagram, is that they are testing a feature in which they're going to do away with likes. Now, I posted this in the group the other day, and it created a huge conversation about vanity metrics and, whether or not, likes is a real way to measure engagement. And I think the jury's still out. No one in the group could really, come up with an answer. I think that there's a concern all around. I think everyone favored doing away with likes in order to improve mental health and things that may cause, when likes have a negative impact on people, that's definitely something we want to do away with. But I think, people did question how that would affect engagement rates. Are likes, a real way to measure engagement? And I think someone brought up a great point, and is likes is a metric that, as social media professionals, that our clients can understand. Where we get into other metrics, we have to educate our clients as to why those other things to measure are important. But I think likes everybody gets, and everybody understands that if someone likes something, they get that's a good thing. So that's really interesting. And the good news is that that's still, being tested. That's not rolled out. They haven't made an announcement that's rolling out, but it did get picked up by a lot of publications. It was in the press. People are talking about it. So I don't know how I feel about doing away with likes. What do you think, Lindsay?
Okay, so personal side of me goes, cool. Then I don't have this imposter syndrome and feel like my, posts aren't interesting. And I might, if I'm a younger user or if I'm a younger person and I don't really, I haven't gotten the confidence to not give a crap about what people think, then I may be tuned into that, right? Like I may care. I might delete it because it doesn't have a lot of likes. So I think what they're trying to do is combat that feeling. So from a business side, this is my business side, is ad revenue, right? So your influencers, these are people that represent different brands and they get paid by the amount of followers, possibly the average amount of likes that are on a post. That could affect their revenue stream. So I think the platform is trying, and I don't know if I have, there's a piece of me that's like, oh man, what if we did a post for a client and we didn't get any likes on it? How will I know, other than now we're going to have to encourage people to engage on the post? Like how will I be able to determine ROI, or was this post a top, right? So like now I'm going to have to shift to, instead of saying double tap, which is the like, to like heart something on Instagram, I might have to go comment or send us a DM. I've been doing some DM stuff, and that's kind of fun too, because you can see when the people like open it. But if they're not a regular follower, that could also go to like a filtered, inbox. My friend James and I actually did this little test where you can record audio snippets and send that back and forth to different accounts. And so we were doing that. And I think there's something to be said about that function, because when I receive an audio like, hey, Lindsay, check this out, I feel like I'm more inclined to reply, hey, thanks. Thanks for letting me know. Like I almost feel, instead of just sending me like a link or a picture or whatever, if you've taken the time to send me a voice, then I'm like, I will also want to return that. But anyway, about the likes, cool. I think I see what they're doing, and I think I see the rainbow, at the end of the pot. But like, I also worry about, okay, businesses are going to have to really start adapting and going, we need people to engage on that post, right? So instead of likes, which that algorithm, I guess now is going to be taken out or whatever they're thinking about it, it's going to have to be like engagement. We can always tell when we take on an account if an account has participated in a purchasing likes campaign. You can typically see that right away because of the demographic. If I see a lot of followers from a different country, that kind of will put some red flags up. So you shouldn't be doing anything to kind of dupe that. You can do paid ad campaigns for likes, but like don't sign up for those bots that promise to give you 100 likes on things. That's crap, and it's just going to F up your insights and your analytics. And then when people like Veronica and I come on to work your account, we're going to have to clean that mess out. So it's a waste. That's it. That's all I got to say about Instagram. I like the quiz. I like that quiz function. I'm all about that quiz function that they have where you can like put in the different functions. So which one's Lindsay's favorite platform? Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or Twitter. And people can vote, not vote, but take the quiz, and it'll tell them if they got the answer right. I dig that because it's engaging in my stuff. So
yeah, no, I mean, I think back to the likes and just creating content in general, like, yeah, now, if they do away with likes, is now we have to create content that people are going to want to comment on. So I think thinking of, again, what would people want to engage in and want to take the time out to leave a comment. And that's the thing. It's like, just because people are not liking your content, it doesn't mean they're not seeing it. It doesn't mean they're not reaching. And I can't tell you how many times I myself just scroll through the feed and don't engage with anything because I'm in a rush or I'm just hopping in to see something. So I think it's going to be tricky, if we do away with likes. And I mean, that does mean that we have to improve our content, rethink the content and how brands are showing up on that platform. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, there is a side of me that doesn't want this to be implemented. I mean, a big side of me that doesn't want this to be implemented. But when I think about the kids or the women or the people who are doing things for likes and who base their self-esteem on likes, I mean, that is a great reason to do away with it, So I think like if the marketing has to sacrifice for the overall, for the good of the realm, then I guess that would be great. But let's move on to LinkedIn, because that is a network that is not staying behind. And that's my little train that could, right? Like, we're big LinkedIn fans. And even though, you know, Facebook and Instagram are leading the pack here, LinkedIn doesn't. It's such a great platform. It always, you know, I feel like it's so underestimated. It's so powerful. I feel like the majority of people spend time on LinkedIn, you know, when they're looking for a job. However, there are a lot of professionals who leverage LinkedIn to generate sales, to generate, you know, all kinds of things, you know. So I love LinkedIn, but they're not staying behind with the updates. They have a lot going on. So Lindsay, do you want to kick it off?
Okay, so if I get one more invitation, and then as soon as I get that invitation to connect with somebody and they send me this SEO boilerplate crap that they want me to sign up for, I'm going to lose my mind. Like,
I know, so spammy.
Oh, for God's sakes. So like, the minute I do that and I get that message, I remove that connection immediately. I don't even reply, because it's crap. If you have hired a company to do that for you, fire that. Like, that idea is stop. Just stop it. So the other thing I'm gonna get upset about is, dear LinkedIn, can I please have the LinkedIn Live function? Like, I'm promised. I am a good person on LinkedIn. I don't post crazy stuff. I keep my politics off of it. I keep my rants off of it. But like, why can't I have that live? And like, the people that have the live, I'm like, oh, they're like self-proclaimed gurus, you know? And I'm like, son of a cheese, man. Like, what the hell? So
can I just jump in? I just don't understand why there'd be such a push to roll out live and only make it available to a handful of people. I understand that, you know, the whole thought behind wanting to improve the quality of the content that's being produced, but then don't hype it up so much and then not make it available to other people. That's my 2 cents on that. I just think it's lame.
I'm digging the ability to react to comments now. I saw that last week available to me. I don't see it available on desktop right now. I'm just seeing it on mobile, but that just might be mine, because I'm always the last to get things. Like, I don't know why and who I upset in all the social media worlds, but like, what? So anyway, you can do a clap, you can do a, you know, you can do a reaction. And so the only thing I have to say about it is they look a little like cartoonish to me.
I don't like the colors. I do not like the colors. I think the graphics are kind of cheesy looking. It looks cheap to me. It just looks like it just looks cheap to me. But
and someone who's watching this might go, well, Veronica and Lindsay, who cares what you think? And my response to that is like, you and I have been doing this for, I don't know, over a decade each, so 20 years something combined. And like, the power of like functionality and branding and consistency is we know this. So, you know, one of the things that I think about for LinkedIn, and I say this during our workshops, is LinkedIn is like the person that showed up to the party with a 6-pack and didn't know that there were kegs there. Like, they're like, hey guys, what's going on? And we're like, we have beer. And they're like, shoot, I didn't know. Dang it.
That is like the best like example. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed with them as a network and just how they have not, you know, stayed behind. They are always improving what they're doing. They're always rolling out new updates. One of the updates that I noticed that I thought was great is the ability to now upload PDF documents and presentations to the actual post. Previously, we were able to upload that to our profile in case we wanted to showcase work we've done, but now you can upload, for example, if you were at a conference or you just gave a speech somewhere or you presented slides somewhere, now you can, you know, go ahead and share those slides with your network. So I think it's great anytime that you can go ahead and create and share more content on any of these networks. So one more format, I just think it was not a very like groundbreaking feature, but it just makes sense, you know, to evolve to that. It makes sense.
So LinkedIn is my favorite. LinkedIn will always be my favorite because it's done so much for me in my business. And I think if you are sleeping on LinkedIn, wake up, because like the amount of legitimacy that it can bring to your business is second to none. It's way better, in my opinion, than like Facebook and Instagram. So the other cool thing I saw is, y'all know that LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. And I saw an article that said, if you're in a Microsoft platform, so platform would be like Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint, that you have the ability to now, well, I don't, but they're testing this, is trying to figure out if they'll let people go from that application, so that Microsoft application, and sharing it directly from there to LinkedIn. So if I'm working on a PowerPoint presentation and I'm done with it, I can just hit that button and it goes right up to my LinkedIn profile. I don't have to like go and take the extra step. Very similar to that Samsung feature that I was, sharing, where it's just integrated into it. So kudos LinkedIn, like that stuff's cool, man. Until somebody ruins it, and then we have to figure out what else to do. So
yeah, so just in these few dates, and these few updates, like you see the trend here that these, that there's all these, companies now integrating social media into their services, in order to make it easier to deliver those services or to share with, a network, which I think it's great. So that looks like a trend there. And speaking of favorite networks, one of my personal favorites is Twitter. I think Twitter is amazing. I know like it's kind of falling way behind compared to like all these other networks, and it's sort of like the stepchild now, but I've met so many people on Twitter. I've been on Twitter for 9 years. I think I just celebrated my Twitterversary. And so it's been 9 years of Twitter. I've met so many people. I love how fast the content moves on that platform, to be honest. So Twitter is great to follow if you follow reporters, not only news outlets, but also reporters as business owners, or if you're a thought leader in a certain field and you want to network with reporters or people who may cite you or need topic matter experts, to interview. That's a great platform to connect with reporters and PR. And I love it. And for my clients, I just think, it should still, even though it may not, I don't think it's where businesses should be spending a bulk of their time and resources. I do think it's still worth publishing content on that network. But they've also been making a couple of changes themselves. And I actually just noticed one change when I logged in today, and it is a new layout. And instead of having trending topics on the left, they now have it on the right. So they're playing around with their layout on desktop. Twitter mobile still looks the same to me, but I hadn't been on desktop, in a little while. And so I noticed that now they were doing that. They moved it over to the side. It looks a lot cleaner. It doesn't have like square edges. It's a little bit round. So I thought that was neat. But the update that I wanted to discuss here was the biggest change that they made is now they've limited the accounts that you can follow per day. And this doesn't affect most of us, but it's still worth noting because there's a lot of people who use Twitter bots to follow and unfollow people in order to grow their audience. So now instead of allowing 1,000 accounts that you can follow, 1,000 accounts, it's gone down to 400 accounts per day that you can follow. And the reason they're doing that is because they're cleaning up all the spam bots. They, ever since we had that Russia situation, Twitter was one of the networks that was also there was stuff going on in that platform where there were questions that, how much of the data and the information that was being shared on that network was true, where is this information coming from, where are all these bots coming from? So they're also, quietly making an effort to clean it up. And so that's one of the things that they announced that they're doing to clean up their backyard from all the spam accounts. And so, if you do have a bot that you're employing to follow and unfollow accounts, take that into consideration because you could get banned from the platform if you're in violation of those new terms. So that's my updates for Twitter. Anything on your end? You're using Twitter? We were just on there,
but like when you started talking, I was just thinking about people who are listening to this. They probably were like, "Holy crap! Can you imagine like on a daily basis meeting that cap of 400, whatever, 1,000?" Like, but I get it. People, hire these companies to like automate that. But the coolest thing about Twitter is when something happens to one of the other platforms. So if Instagram is down, if Facebook is down, if LinkedIn is down, guess where everybody goes? Twitter. So
it's the
my full claps for Twitter for being the now everybody wants to use Twitter when one of the and we're all on there complaining about how it's like, how do you think Twitter feels about that? Like, oh, you only come when you know, when you've got problems with it, Facebook. I see how it is, but
yeah, we've been doing that for years. Like anytime there's a bug on Facebook and on Instagram, everybody runs over to Twitter to see if in fact it is down or if it's just you. And so that's been going on for years, and it's the best because everybody starts like dropping memes and things of that nature. As you guys can see, so here's another thing. Most of the memes that we're seeing on Instagram are coming from Twitter. Most people don't realize that that's really just an image uploaded to the tweet box, right, with text and screenshot. And that is what we're coming to know as a standard of memes. But that's really, that's the Twitter text font that you guys are seeing on the white background memes that we're seeing with the image underneath. That's all Twitter. So it's so interesting to me how even that has become sort of pop culture, and it's really Twitter, you know, right in the background. I don't think Twitter gets enough credit for that. That is the fastest place to create memes. So it's kind of like the bootleg place. Instead of going to meme generator, you now go to Twitter to create memes. And it's a great place to farm memes as well. You enter any topic, you can pick up the memes there. There's a lot of stuff that's born from Twitter that goes into these other networks that we don't even give credit to Twitter for. But one of the favorite reasons that I love going to Twitter, not only to follow comedians, I love following comedians and like their funny tweets, but also when you're watching TV. Like if you guys, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Game of Thrones hashtag last night was lit on Twitter. And everyone, I mean, it's been one of my favorite things to do for years now, to watch TV while using Twitter and being on that hashtag and conversing with other people and the memes and being retweeted. And like when you say something that resonates with everyone else watching that show, it's the best feeling. And it's sort of like that little validation you get when you get a like, but it's just a whole nother level. So I love Twitter personally. I think it's a really fun network to use when you're not working.
Before we go to YouTube and before we close up, I'm going to say this about Twitter. You're absolutely right. And so let's think about it from a business standpoint, because a lot of the people that are listening or watching this are like business owners or they're marketers. Hang in there when there are things that are trending. So I couldn't fall asleep after the Game of Thrones last night because I was like, oh, dang, Arya, like you're a big deal. And then I was thinking about like all the stuff. And so, yes, I went to Twitter and read what people are watching. Think about live sports. So, you know, any sports, when you go on Twitter, people it's being talked about. So from a business standpoint, you know, even if you're in a retailer, get into those conversations, retweet, just pull it back to being relevant about your business. You know, I can't imagine you would get really like hung up on what to tweet because there's just so much out there. But when you go into the platform, you can easily go into like the search function and you can just see what's trending and just hop on into one of those things. So,
and join the conversation, right? Like that's on the organic end. So yesterday during the Game of Thrones conversation, one of the things that I was paying attention to were the advertisers advertising in that hashtag, in that conversation. So I saw Comedy Central. I saw, you know, a couple of political tweets. So people are definitely, you know, the brands that can afford it are showing up to these big events, you know, on Twitter. And it wasn't relevant at all. Like their content wasn't even about Game of Thrones. So I found it a little bit disruptive as I was just trying to read what other people were saying about the episode I was watching, but it's still happening. So that's another way that businesses can show up in these conversations and in these hashtags.
All right, YouTube is how did I say this to you? YouTube is, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but I have to like think about it a lot. So from a personal standpoint, think about it this way. When somebody is trying to figure out how to do something, where do they go to figure that out? I got this for some reason, I have a John Deere riding lawnmower. Don't ask me why. And I have no idea how to work it. Okay. So like I go to YouTube and I watch this gentleman proceed to tell me how to start the lawnmower. And then I started the lawnmower. So I think like if you're a business owner and you're thinking about when people want to know, that's where you go to kind of like cultivate your content ideas. Is when people are in it, are they trying to figure out how to verify their Facebook page? As marketers, then we can show a little demo. I'm a little just, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but I just have to think about it a lot. I'm an overthinker. and I just have to, make it right for my business. Do I recommend it to others? Heck yeah. So that's what I have to say about YouTube. Do it because also it's the intention when someone's in it. They are figuring out how to do something, or they want to learn, or they need information. So if you can wrap your head around that as a business or a marketer, that's where you go, okay, now here's what we're going to put out there.
Yeah, so I think that's really well said. I think two things about YouTube. Number one is a search engine. So I think it's a great way to show up on any specific topic. It's something to consider as part of your strategy, that it should be part of your strategy. The second thing is about content creators and people creating content. So one of the things I wanted to move away from this year was creating long form videos on Facebook, specifically Facebook Live. And I wanted to house those over on YouTube, because people are not. So when you go on Facebook and you think about how people use Facebook, you're just scrolling through, reading things, and you're consuming content really fast. Nobody really takes the time to watch a half-hour video, which is what we're going on really soon, unless you're really, really interested in that topic, right? So we know like only a handful of people may be really interested in the things that we're talking about, and that's okay, because those are the kind of people that we want, to watch this video, the people who are really interested. But if you're, another brand or whatever, you need to think about the fact that, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, people are just not trying to sit down and watch a half-hour video. So that's what YouTube is for. And so even, look at IGTV. They're only previewing how many seconds on the Instagram feed. It's only like a few seconds. And then if you want to watch the full video, you have to go over to the IGTV app. So that's an example of basically what's happening, that people are not, trying to watch the full video on a feed. So YouTube needs to be, even if you're not active on YouTube and engaging in the comments and active in the community, because there are communities there, it's still a great place for you to store your videos, but make sure that you're optimizing those videos and making it keyword friendly, so that when somebody's searching about that topic, your video comes up.
I'm in the market to buy a house. The very first thing I asked myself was, do I go and get a lender first, or do I go and get an agent first? And somehow I ended up on YouTube, and someone shared here are the first 3 things that you do when you're in the market to buy a house. Get your lender first, then contact an agent, whatever. And I was like, dang, YouTube for the win, because I bought a house before, and I don't buy them every day. I don't have a life like that. So I forgot, I was like, I don't remember what to do. So yay, YouTube, how to demonstrations. Just think about it. If you're listening and watching this, I'm down with that. I want to drink the Kool-Aid. Is, think about how people are when they're in that. I always teach, and I know Veronica is of this school as well, is put yourself in the user's shoes, and then your content around that, right? And it might not be relevant. Like, maybe don't do YouTube if it doesn't make sense for you, but try and entertain it. I think we went over our timeline.
Yeah, but that's okay, because I think it was, we had a lot to discuss. There was a lot. I think every network had like at least 3 updates minimum. So it was a lot, but that's okay.
It's our stuff. We do what we want.
I enjoy it.
Do this again, and so for those that are watching or listening, please send us a message, send Veronica or send myself a message. Let us know if there's something that you want us to look into further for you, or even we just talk about a concept. If you have a business and you're like, I just don't know which one to use, which platform, send us a message. That's the stuff that we love to do. I love to just brainstorm and create, and then give that to folks so that they can take it and make a lot of money from there. So Veronica, thank you for having me on, and we're going to be sharing this in a number of different portals. So however you're absorbing this information, please send us a message and let us know if you have any questions about what we covered and what you would like to see more of from us.
Exactly what she said. So thank you for watching, no matter where you're watching this. And yeah, like Lindsay said, if you have any questions about anything that we discussed, I realize we moved really fast. So if we skipped over anything, if kind of you didn't get something that we were talking about, or you're not aware of something, that's fine. We talk about this stuff every day, and sometimes I don't realize that something I'm saying may not be common knowledge to other people. So feel free to ask a question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Like, trust us, like, we're asking questions all the time. So thank you again for watching. We'll see you guys around. Bye.
Bye.